currently exporting a video, so hopefully my computer can do that and stream at the same time. We're gonna find out. Let's see here. I need to. It looks like it's fine. That should be fine. Sorry for the squeaky chair. Let's see. So we've got a lot to do today. We've kind of just been kind of like doing stuff, and we've not necessarily been doing it correctly, which is my fault, but I have a couple different things to look into. I don't need this anymore. I was doing some testing. But let me see. Also, like, some of my other stuff has been moving around. I need to hurry up and get like a monitor with a different resolution, because I think I'm moving stuff back and forth and it like changes size. Let's see here. That's good. That's good. Oh, I got a pop filter so that I'm not like blowing a bunch of air into the mic. So that's really nice. And I think it's making a big difference. And I won't have to be so careful with how I pronounce my P's. So let's see here. I guess before I start making changes, maybe I'll do just like some triggers to see if anybody shows up. I have too much stuff on my desk. Oh my god, it's everywhere. Let's move that. Let's move that. Okay. Let's see here. Let me mute for just a second. Okay. Not gonna lie, this pop filter is a little annoying, just because it takes up like even more room in front of my face now. Before it wasn't too bad. I need like a shorter mic stand is honestly what I need. This one's a little too high, or I need to find like a way to adjust it. It doesn't help that I have to put it on top of this like pad thing. Alright, let's see here. What do we and I did mess around with some stuff. Some stuff might be broken, but we'll see. Handsome Cube has clocked out. They are lurking. Lazy Cube says, "Oh, you're real." And we have a trigger word for Red Yak, and the trigger word is manicure. 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 I need to add more trigger words. Oh wait. No, yeah, it's gonna land on trigger word every time. I forgot I changed the weight because I was testing something. There we go, that's better. Now we won't get it like every single time. Let's see here. Commanding Yak is giving 9% effort today. It is a Sunday, so I'll give him a pass on that. Hot Cube says, "Hello Juice." Hello Hot Cube. And positive performance review for Lazy Yak. It's interesting. I don't know how he's getting the positive performance review if he's lazy, but I guess he's been putting in the work, so we'll give him his positive performance review. Hello, Lazy Yak. Yes, I've just been, monitoring you the last week or so. Not because I thought you were doing anything wrong, I just the manager here, and I gotta stay on top of everything and keep an eye on everybody. But I wanted to say I've been extremely pleased with your performance, and I think you've been doing a really good job, and everything is on time, under which is always great. And I need to find ways to like vary this because I feel like I say the same thing every time. I feel like maybe it'd be easier with real viewers where I can make it a little more personal. Let's see. I also wanted to say, Lazy Yak, I've noticed a huge improvement since the last time that I was monitoring you, and that's why you earned that name, Lazy Yak. But you've really picked it up this last week or so, so I appreciate it and keep up the good work. We'll do like one or two more, and then we'll start changing all the stuff that we were going to change today. Let's see here. Oh man. Alright. Worried Cube is clocked in. Fantastical Race Car is leaving. That's alright. Have a good day, Fantastical Race Car. And positive affirmations for Fantastical Heater surrounding family. I'm not really sure why I put the family one in there. I'm not sure. I feel like the whole positive affirmations, I need to do some sort of rehaul, because some of these are like really hard. Like they sounded like a good idea whenever I put them in, but again, I think this is one of those things where it's like if I knew the chatter, it would be a little easier, because like, I don't know, maybe I just have to make something up. I don't know, that feels weird. It feels weird to give a fictional person a fictional family. I don't know. We're gonna have to change the positive affirmations. We need to add that to the to-do list. Change. Not even change. Rehaul. Positive affirmations. Oops. It doesn't matter where I move my stuff on my desk, I still hit it every time. Alright. Let's see here. Ooh, Productive Yak. They're giving 75% effort today. That's great. Worried Banana says, hello, Juice. Hello, Worried Banana. How are you doing today? And we have a stretch for Brave Race Car. Thank you. So gonna. Okay. We'll do one more. Ooh, head pats. I like doing head pats. Fantastical envelope, 7%. Okay, I don't have a comment on that one. Hello, Stinky Countertop. Head pats for Red Yak. Give me just a moment. Oops. There we go. Oops. That was head pats for Red Yak. Goodness. Okay. Let's see. We have a lot to do on the Excel sheet today. There's like a bunch of stuff that like works, but it's not the right way to do it, and every time you want to update it, you have to like change a bunch of stuff. So all of these columns with numbers, I don't actually need them. I've been using like an XLOOKUP function, and I can do an index function instead. And then to grab the bottom cells, you also use an index function with a count function. Not just any count function, a count A function. And then think I know. We kind of already did that with this, so we're just going to extend it to other stuff to try and clean up a little bit of this. Hello, Goose. The sniff test, that's just like, I don't know, it's mostly sniffing noises. And then I would tell you what you smell like that day, whether good or bad. So let's see here. First, we need to get rid of all these columns with numbers, I think, because that's by far generating the most clutter, and we can't get rid of all of them. Like anything with triggers or with weights, we're gonna have to keep. We also don't need this range column. It's just to double check that this is working correctly, so we just don't need that. Hopefully good. I mean, I hope it's good too, because I'm the one who has to perform the sniff test, so yeah, you know, if you're gonna redeem that, you know, take a shower ahead of time, or at least don't be doing like, you know, 20 hours of manual labor and then come in asking for the sniff test redeem. That would be preferable. Okay. So randoms without numbers. We've got this monstrosity, which this is actually more than is necessary for most of them. That's for trigger word. And I did look up what. Sorry. Goodness. I gotta start muting whenever I rearrange my chair. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I did look up what all these different functions mean so that I understand them a little better, and I'll try to explain them as we go for anybody that is interested. So, we want to do the randomness without the numbers. And so, at its core, what we need is this. There's something else I didn't. Man, I need to see if I can like oil this chair or something. I don't remember it being this bad, but maybe I've just never paid such close attention to it. So I think I'm like getting ahead of myself and overwhelmed. We need to use the index function. I know that. So let's come over here to the username generator and we'll do just kind of a blank one. So we want this to be equal to, and we're gonna do index. Okay, we'll hit tab. So we need an array and a row number. And that's what we're doing here. I need to copy and paste this whole thing just into a notepad so that I can reference it. Okay, let's move that over here. Alright. Make that a little smaller so I can put it over here. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna turn up the gain on my microphone just a little bit. Okay. Okay, so I have the text that I need. And so, again, what we're trying to do is equal index. Okay. And then we need the array. So the array is going to be, that's the problem, right, though, is that the array keeps changing as we add stuff. So we need to also take advantage of this other function, which gives us the bottom. So let me also copy that into my notepad and I'll figure out how to do these together. So let's see here. One more time. Okay. So the array is going to be from one area to another area. Goodness. I understand each one of these individually, it's just hard to figure out how to put them together. So for the row, count A gives the bottom value, and it's giving the bottom value from index A. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and start trying it, and if it doesn't work out, then we can make adjustments. So let me just make sure I muted those system sounds. Yep, okay. So if we get an error, hopefully it won't make a loud noise. Alright. A1 is where we're starting. And then we want to go to the bottom value. So the bottom value, we put, now we need to use index, and I'm not sure if we need parentheses again. Maybe we don't. Okay, so we'll do index. We want to look at all of column A. Did I use a semicolon instead of a colon? Is that why it's mad? No, never mind. Comma. And then what row do we want to do? We want to count just all of column A. And then a parentheses. And another parentheses to close index. So that's the first part of index, which is the array, which is everything in column A, essentially from top to bottom. So we have that. And now we need the other row number. So that's just going to be the rand between. And for right now, I'm going to say 1 to 12 because I know that's what it is, but we want something other than the number 12. We want something that's actually going to convey that like it's the last thing, so that again we don't have to update it. So hopefully I'll hit enter. We changed it. Oh, I'm missing an extra quotation mark, so that's fine. Okay, so this seems to be working, but we don't want it to say 12, and I'm pretty sure we just have to copy and paste this whole thing again and stick it in there. And again, we're missing a quotation, and it put it in, but it is not pulling correctly now for some reason. This one is giving. Oh man. It's so nested in itself that like I'm literally losing track of what any given thing is. I didn't want to do it all off stream and figure it out completely, but maybe I should have looked into it a little more. But we're close, because I know if I put in 12 that it's working correctly. How many parentheses? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So we still have one open. Then we need 3, and then we need 4. So there's the right number of parentheses and everything. It's counting is from A1 to the bottom of A. And then I want to generate a random value between that and 12. Oh, so this is saying like random value between 1 and fantastical, essentially. Like it's not putting the number 12 in, it's putting in the word fantastical. And that's not what I wanted to do. I think I just don't have to use the index. I think I just use count A, and then I remove a parentheses. There we go. That's what was wrong. It was going 1 through fantastical, but I don't want it to go 1 through fantastical. I want it to go 1 through 13, and now, or 12. Or well, it's 13 because we're moving from using these numbers to using these numbers. But it knows how to sort all of that out. So this is what we need to use. And now, if I was to put in another value, so let's say, what's a good adjective? Color's always the first thing that comes to mind, but I don't want to use it. Let's go with greasy. Even though greasy does not have a number here, it should be able to show up, so it will not show up here in any of these three, because they're using the old system, but hopefully just by adding it, it will show up. There we go. So I got lucky there. That could have taken a lot more tries, but it does populate here. So this is the correct thing to use, this whole thing, instead of what we were using. So that's good. So now if we just apply it to all of these, then we will not need these number columns. And every time we add something, it'll automatically be included. So let's... And it doesn't actually reference anything specific. I guess we should still put in the dollar signs. Because no matter where I copy and paste this, I want it to stay consistent. Something weird just happened. I guess maybe some of these dollar signs do not need to be here. I guess anything that's counting a whole column, it probably does not need it. Does that work? Okay. So we only need the dollar signs for index arguments, but not for count arguments, because count's using the whole column anyway. Hopefully. We'll see. Let's... How can it possibly be spitting out name A? Oh, it's grabbing the top. That's why it's saying name A. Is that... Oh, it's because I'm using A1. I shouldn't be using A1. I should be using A2. It shouldn't start all the way at the top. I think if I just change that, I don't need to change anything else. Nope. It's still showing up. Or, well, it's showing up on the ones that we didn't fix, because these still say, so let's do that. Okay, now let's try it a bunch of times, and we shouldn't get name. Well, we're getting a reference error. I need to hide some of these other columns, because that's not helping. I should have done this like 45 minutes ago. Alright. So I've got this. It's going from here, index. Let let me understand the internal index first. So the index is going for this entire thing and going to the last one, which is fine. So it's going from here to here, which is fine. And then it's doing a random number between 1 So I guess this also needs to be 2, is what I'm gonna guess. I mean, it's an educated guess, but it is still a guess. I forgot, I still need to... Let me drag it down, or copy and paste it to all of these. 2, 2, 2. Okay. Now I should not get the reference error on any of them. Nope, I still saw one. Huh. That's the rough thing with the random, is like you never know what it's doing and you never know what's actually like causing the error. What could it be referencing that it's not happy with? I mean, something we could do is we could just get rid of this whole top layer, because like it works fine without that. It's just while I'm trying to exclude it, it won't do what I want it to do. I feel like it has to do with this. It has to do with like it's still referencing the whole thing. And if I start putting in other like things to, like, I feel like that just almost would not end, if, because I'd just be nesting the error another layer deep. That doesn't do anything for me. We might just get rid of the table headers, because like I don't know what to do. I can't get it, because like right now it's referencing the whole row or the whole column, and if I tell it to reference from 2 to 14, it will run into the same problem again, just like another layer deep, unless this is rough, man. I just wish I knew for sure, like, what the exact error causes. We've got, I think I'm gonna this is brutal. Why do I keep holding shift while I do that? Count A counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. Oh, right. Okay. So the problem is that count is counting this first one, and then index is not able to match it because it's looking outside of that range. Man, I still don't know how to do that without nesting it another deep, because I could just say, like, you know, don't use A as a whole, go from 2 to 14. But that's what the whole count thing is. So like if I'm using count, I would have to use like another function. What does regular count do? Oh, okay, so count A, I guess means count everything. Count blank. Count if. Counts the number of cells within a range that meet a certain condition. Let's try that. Range. Okay, so we could do all of A, and then the criteria would be, I have no clue what it wants for criteria. That could mean anything, man. Not. No. Not equal. Is that like exclamation point equals? And then we could put name A. I seriously doubt that's how this works. No, wait. It wasn't done yet. Whoops. I'm gonna have to pull up the old Google for this one. Excel count if criteria. Not equal string. Okay. So, I don't know where I pulled the exclamation part equals. I feel like that's a coding thing that does exist, but apparently Excel uses this to mean not equals. What's the problem with this formula? Okay. Criteria. This needs to go in the quotation marks, maybe. Okay. So technically that works. The problem is it's counting like, yeah. What is that number? 1048576. So this is one less. So it is doing, that's progress. It's doing what we want. It's counting everything in A that is not this. The problem is it's counting like literally every single cell all the way to the end of the Excel sheet, which is 1 million rows. That is not optimal. Not equal to that or equal to blank. That would be something. Let's do criteria. Not blank. Not equal to this. And we could do, okay, I tell you what, let's go one step at a time. So I'm gonna paste this here, and instead I'm gonna do like this. this one is not counting this. This one is not counting all of the others. And now I just need to combine them. So I think I can just do and quotation, quotation. Darn it. That's actually leading to it counting everything. I just need to combine. Oh. What about that? Not equal to that, and not equal to that. Oh. Here we go. Come on, big money. Darn it. I'm so close. I'm just gonna have to look it up. I was trying to figure it out on my own. Count if not equal to 2 values. I know I'm close. I'm so close. Range criteria. Another range. And another criteria. No. Maybe. Oh, count ifs. Okay, so we can. Oh, there we go. We did it. We did it. Oh my god. That was brutal, but this technically will count everything but the first thing. I don't know if that was worth it, to be perfectly honest, but now we can keep the top and still get what we want. We just have to figure out how to put it in here. So we're not using count A, we're using this. I'm gonna grab all of this, I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna escape, I'm gonna come here, and I'm gonna replace it. I know I need to replace it here. Is that the right number of parentheses? I think so. Oh, okay. And then copy. Now that I think fixes it, but maybe we need to put it there also. It's doing index any of A. I feel like I might need to do it there too, but let's refresh a bunch and see what we get. Okay. Alright, so that works. I will be honest, I'm not entirely sure why we don't also need it here. I kind of want to understand that before moving on, but I also kind of don't want to spend any longer on this. Let me just try and understand it real quick. So, random between 2 and the number that's everything other than those. I get that. That's the random. I just need to understand where it is. So this index is saying the array is this. And then the row number is that. Okay, so I already understand that. This is the array. The array starts here and goes to... Oh, if we put it here, it would break. Because because if we put it here, then it would be one short. So it does need to. One of these is like table position, and one of them is name position. And the name position is always going to be kind of like one less. It's going to be one off than the table position because the table includes the title, where the names don't. So this is the right thing. Do I need dollar signs? I don't think so. I think these dollar signs are the only ones that I need to keep it referencing correctly. Well, I need a small, break from that goodness. How are you doing today, Goose? I've been meaning to ask you. And in the meantime, maybe we'll go back and we'll do some triggers and then we'll come back to this. And we'll fix up the rest of it. That was a bit of a workout. Doing alright, just doing some Christmas shopping. That's good. I'm doing alright. I had a little bit of a headache earlier, but I think it's getting better. So yeah, I don't know, I've been having a lot of headaches lately, but I think I just need like a mouth guard for when I go to sleep, and it'll fix it. I don't want to go too much into it. I feel like that's just boring to hear about. But glad you're doing alright. I haven't really done any Christmas shopping, but I don't want to say thankfully, but kind of thankfully my family doesn't celebrate much, so I don't have to worry about buying a bunch of different gifts and stuff, which is nice. But I guess that also means I don't get any gifts, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword there. Alright. I think everything will still work on this page because we haven't really changed anything that would affect it. So let's do a thing. Quirky Banana has clocked out. Productive Yak is on their way out. Have a good day, Productive Yak. And Rubik's Cube trigger for Brave Countertop. A Rubik's Cube solve for Brave Countertop. I feel like the name Brave Countertop shows up a lot. I feel like he has done many redeems. Go ahead and close that. I also don't need this notepad anymore. Well, maybe I'll keep the notepad open just in case. I don't need that anymore. Okay. Let's do one more. Let's see here. modifier has clocked in. Oh, okay. So yeah, Greasy is working. It's showing up. I guess we did kind of like copy and paste it all the way down, so it should be working. So that's working. Hot cube, hello. And finger flutters for red heater. Whoops. I got a little carried away with my finger fluttering. That was finger flutters for red heater. Man, I really like this pop filter. I totally don't have to worry about and like it blowing out the microphone anymore. Okay. So let's see. So we got that working, which is good. And now we need it to work on the other part. And we can actually delete this column now, which is nice. So now we need it to work for B, which should be really easy. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to put it into Notepad just because it's a little easier to work with. And I'm going to replace all the A's with B's. There honestly might be a way to do that, like, more automatically, but I don't know what that is. Okay. Let's try this, and hopefully this will be, like, a lot easier. There we go. Okay, and now let's try adding a new noun. What's a good username noun? We'll go for poster. Oh, and it showed up automatically, so this is also working. And now we don't need this column either. That's huge. Delete. Now we can unhide these. Alright. We're doing good, What else do we need to do? So... Oh man. Maybe... Let's just go ahead and rework the positive affirmations. I think maybe we just remove, well, I mean, definitely don't remove the whole thing. I want to keep it, but some of these categories are just too specific. So maybe we just do away with the category for positive affirmations and we just make it, I don't know, like work is a good one. And that's one that I know people redeem a lot. Personal projects seems good. Maybe really family is just the one that I struggle with. I mean, mental health's not easy, but it's easier to do. I don't know, maybe I'll come back to that also. Let's fix chat messages and chat redeem. So we want to do the same thing that we just did. but for column J. So let me copy. There really should be an easier. Let me see if there is a. I'm gonna look it up. I would rather invest the time now rather than do something repetitive. Excel cell replace letter with another letter to replace specific text in a text screen. That's like replacing a whole cell. Here we go. Here's someone asking. Oh, Control H. That is something I know about a little bit. Wait, no. I'm thinking of something else, but there is an image here. Options within. I just wanted to do it within my selection, not within an entire thing. I guess I could do it within a sheet. I just don't think this is gonna do what I wanted to do. Let me copy the whole thing. I need a blank sheet. The screen is about to be like super white for a second. There we go. We'll just keep this open and we'll call it tests. We'll move it down to the end so that we can do this when we need to. Let's paste it in here. Oh man. That's fine. Let it calculate incorrectly. Find what? A. Replace with, I think we said J. Oh my goodness, it does work. It works a little too well. It grabs like literally every A. I guess that's to be expected, but didn't Jame? Did Jame? Alright. Here we go. That is still, I don't know if I would call that faster, but okay. So we want that. Here. J is the chat messages. Whoops. Copy. No, oh my god. I hate how Excel does that. Alright, copy and then get out of that cell. Front end. And again, we're doing chat redeems. No, we're doing the chat messages, which show up here. Oh, we're gonna have to put back end exclamation point. Oh man, probably in like so many places. Actually, this might be a little painful. So you gotta do backend anytime you're referencing a location, not necessarily for each function. Okay, so I'll put it there, I'll put it here, I'll put it here, I'll put it here, and I'll put it here. Oh, okay. We didn't get an error message, which is good, but I also have no clue what it's referencing. Let's think about it. Let's use... I feel like stream might break a little bit here. I don't know how it's gonna handle it if I do a new window. Okay. So sorry, you're only gonna be able to see half of what I'm doing. I'm trying to open up the other thing so I can see what it's referencing. And that does not help at all. I'm not on another monitor, I'm on the same monitor. I went up to view and then I hit new window, and that opens up a second version of Excel that is the same thing, but it makes it to where I can look at two of these different tabs at once. And like I probably could add the other one onto OBS, but it'll only be for a second, and also like I think it's not working anyway. Normally whenever you're like on one of these, it'll highlight the cells that it's referencing, and I was hoping if I had both open that it would show me whenever I click on here the highlights on the other one, but it doesn't appear to work that way, so that doesn't actually help. Oh, it's just like every time Oh. Wait a second. Man, that might have been it. It might literally just be that one thing. Oh, I have to change this. I have to change it because it's not. Okay. The name of this is supposed to be. Wait, what did I just do? Okay. This I need to change to the name of the column, which is chat messages. Okay, so grab that. Come over here. Ah, darn it. We did need to do that though. Yeah, and this rand function is, I don't know. I know I fixed the typos, but for some reason they came back. I think those are the only two. Are there any other J's that are supposed to be A's? Doesn't look like it. We're still getting an error. J2 index backend JJ count J. Oh, yeah, there's another J that's supposed to be an A. There we go. Man, that honestly, that, I think maybe I'll just not rename the text or use the replace function on very complicated functions, because I think that literally would have been easier if I had just gone in and changed all the A's that I knew were supposed to be J's rather than trusting it to do it itself. Okay. I also want to change the format of this. I feel like I keep running out of room. There we go. That way, not all of these need to be all different sizes and such. Let's just delete all those. Alright, that was good. So we don't need this. We don't need this. And now if I add other stuff. Alright, we're really gonna have to figure out some other chat messages. I don't know. How are you doing today? When is the next stream? Alright, so we added a bunch of things in here, and over here they should just be able to populate automatically. Let's go! Man, that is so nice to not have to update a bunch of stuff every time we want to do it. So now we can just add whatever we want and it will take it into account automatically, which is super good. Goodness, sorry, that was really loud. Those are my thumbs. I know we haven't had a hydrate redeem, but I'm gonna hydrate. Okay, let's see here. Let's just do some more redeems. Negative performance review. Sorry. Brave House is giving 93% effort today. That's huge. Fantastical Envelope says, how are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. And negative performance review for Red Race Car. I do need to figure out a way to vary these up. I feel like my main piece of feedback is whether it was on time and under budget or not. Negative performance review for Red Race Car. Red Race Car, you're I've been kind of checking your work over the last week, and I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. The accuracy of your work has been, I don't want to say abysmal, but it's definitely below par, and I'm gonna need you to give it just a little more effort. Because I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say it, man. If everybody was doing work at your level, at your current level this past week, I think we would go bankrupt. We would go out of business. So I'm gonna need you to step it up a little bit. And it's okay. You know, we all have bad weeks, but just try to do better next week. Thank you. Oh my god, we've been streaming for an hour. Gosh. Let's see here. Let's do another one. Let's see what we get. Negative affirm. That's too similar to the last one. We're gonna go again. Negative performance review. We're gonna go again. Negative affirmations again. Finger flutters. I feel like we just did those. We can do a couple more. 15% effort from Quirky Poster. That's unfortunate. You're doing better than like a couple of the other people today, but I don't know, come on. Hand rubs. mic scritchies, so I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna stack it. I'm gonna break it and force them. Oh, look at that! We got mic scratchies for Hot Cube. How about that? It's incredible. Have a good day, fantastical humidifier. Mic scratches for Hot Cube. Let's see, what else do we want to do? So we figured out that. That's good. Not sure if you can hear that. I think that's an airplane flying like directly over my house. They knew I was streaming and they've been sent to sabotage me. Let's see here. We have some redeems to add. So let's see. We need to overhaul the entire trigger system, and I still don't know exactly what we're gonna do. So currently it spits out a random number. And we want that to go to a certain place. So we're just going to use count A. No. We want the last one. Oh yeah, so count from E. Just... man, okay. We do. We wanted to count everything in column E, I believe. We forgot the parentheses. That's fine. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's just giving the count. So that's messed up. That's not what we want. We need... let me undo what I did. Random between those values. Sorry. Random between the values. So this is giving me the count. Oh, I have to do the index. So random between E2 and index of that is giving us a random number, and it is doing it from whatever's in this cell to whatever's at the bottom. Why were we using the if arguments for these? It was because they were a different size. Count A from 1 to oh. Since it's 1 greater, we might not actually have to do it. Give me just a second. Sorry. Well, I can't just put in. I guess technically I can. Let me just put in whatever here. Okay, so it is grabbing that last one. This is rough because I don't even know what I'm necessarily unsure of. So it's grabbing a random between here, and then index is everything in row E. And then it's going to the row number. So this is just like a happy coincidence. It's a happy coincidence that this number is 1 lower and the table puts it 1 lower. So we don't need to do a count if at all. So that's just a happy accident, which I will take because this is hard enough already. So I think we can just add some triggers. So let's add sniff, test, and we'll do good noun, but it'll be, we need like modifiers for it. So this is the same thing that we run into with trigger words and with positive affirmations, that we want it to be something randomized. So it could be good boy, or it could be good girl, or it could be, whatever. And so we need to find a way to make a list of those that's integrated. So we kind of already did that over here. Where we say it's equal to something, like a string. So we'll do equals and a string good, and then we need to spit out a random value from somewhere else. So first we need to make it. So let's do, whoops. Ugh. Excel is really powerful, but it's also like really annoying sometimes. Good nouns. So we have boy, girl. I don't know, let's just go all out. Pet, kitty, puppy. What else have I seen on ASMR streams? I feel like sometimes people have like a bunch of different ones, but I can't really put like custom, because then that would just be whatever. We'll just leave it at those for now. So we have this. So we want this to be equal to good as a string with a space, and to return a value from the noun thing. And we want it to be where if we add nouns, that we don't have to worry about it. So it's going to be and index be like an actual moron. Could I literally just do like -1? Is that a thing I can do? Open, 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 close, closed, closed. Too few arguments. I need a comma. Oh, the array. Wait. So that's the array. And then the row number. Goodness. We just need this to be all of F. Array, row number. Okay, I think we did it. Hey Goose, can you hear the air conditioning right now? Or not air conditioning, it's the heater. Guess the other thing I should try. Where's my... Let me see if this reduces it at all. That doesn't really sound any different on my end. Well, I feel like a bit of a moron because I'm fairly certain that I could have just done... Oh wait, it's not randomizing it, it's doing... Rand between. I feel like I'm getting a better hang of it, but then every time I actually have to implement what I've learned, like my whole brain just shuts down. It's been a bit of a long day, to be honest. Do I just need to stick the whole thing in a rand between? Too few arguments. Okay, just... I know how to do rand between, like that's fine. Might be too much to try and stick it inside of the trigger itself, but at the same time I know it's possible. What is it doing right now? It's getting back Kitty, which is one less than the total number. Okay, So it's saying search in here and pick 5 or 6 minus 1. I don't want it to pick 6 minus 1. I want it to pick a rand between 1 and this highest value. That's it. There we go. But it is still spitting back out good nouns. Oh, because it should not be 2. It should be 1. And there shouldn't be a minus 1. Like, that's not necessary, because that's just going to make it pick something else that we don't need. So I have 1 opening, 2 opening, 3 opening, and then 3 closing is what I need. Okay, so we should not get good noun, and we should be able to get puppy now. Nice, we did it. Alright. That's good. So we integrated a random thing into there, and now we should be able to do the same thing for trigger word. So for trigger word, we're just going to use this as a template. Index column ran between 2 count column. There's no chance I'm gonna remember all that, but let's just do it. Let's see here. We want trigger word. We want a space. Actually, first we need to figure out how we want this to appear. So trigger word, whenever it shows up, and we're gonna force it to show up. It says trigger word 4. So let's say trigger word colon the word for that person. We'll figure out how all the rest of that works in a second. So we want equals quotation trigger word colon space quotation mark and index. We want column G as the array. For the row number, we want rand between the bottom value is 2 and the top value is count A of G. And a third. Oh my gosh, first try. Cool. And then if I add another trigger word, like there's a reason I've not added any. It's not like my favorite trigger, so I never know what would be a good one. Pantheon. Oops. And it shows up automatically, so that's good. We do need to fix. So we should not need any of that other stuff anymore. Like, it just shows up trigger word Pantheon for that person. So this thing that was grabbing the trigger word is no longer necessary. We don't need it. And on the back end, this trigger word area, we no longer need it. positive affirmations. We can do the same thing. Here we go. Are we ready? Let's try and do this one last time. Equals positive affirmations surrounding and an index of all of column H with the row number of a rand number between 2 and count A of column H, 3 closing parentheses. Change that to 10, change that to a bunch. And now that works too. So we can also delete these. We can delete this. And now we're doing pretty good. We can add anything we want anywhere on the sheet without doing too much, unless it's something with a weighted value, in which case we need to extend these down a little. Randoms without numbers, we know how to do that now. How to grab the bottom cells, we know how to do that now. Percentage, we know how to do that now. And then we'll take all of these, we will change the styles. These are the redeem. So redeem chatter, chat redeemer. I guess we could have cleaned this up a little bit by not doing all of this. We could have done this in the other sheet and then just done something simpler like what we're doing here, but we can fix that later. I don't know if magnets is going to be a good redeem. Give me just a second. Sorry, that took me a second to find my magnets. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, it might not be a good idea to get these terribly close to the microphone, but we'll see. I feel like maybe these don't make the best redeem. Maybe they would be better as like a visual kind of trigger, because they are nice to look at and to hear whenever you're snapping them all together, but I feel like without the visual component, maybe it just kind of sounds like metal. And then again, they're like kind of close to the microphone, and maybe that's not good for it. We'll keep it in mind. We'll keep it in mind, but I don't think I'm gonna add it right now. Maybe if people request it or something. Oh my god. I should just stand. I have a standing desk. we are standing, so hopefully no more noisy chair for the rest of stream. This pop filter is honestly super nice. I just totally don't have to worry about it anymore. I guess we still have some other stuff to do, but let's just go ahead and do some triggers. So let's see. Well, hold on. Is all the weighting correct? Yeah. I guess I'll also put this down to 0 just because I didn't rehaul it yet. Here we go. 66% effort from Hot Cube today, and a stretch for Red Humidifier. Thank you for the stretch redeem. Fantastical House really likes whatever last trigger we did before stretch. I don't remember what it was. Productive Humidifier is giving 58% effort today. That's decent. It is still the weekend. And Rubik's Cube for Brave Cube. I guess that makes sense. Sorry if you can hear the train. I told the city that I was streaming and to not run the train for the next couple hours, but they didn't. I don't think they listened. On the last layer. I need to get better at this last step without it sounding so clackety. There we go. That was Rubik's Cube for Brave Cube. Have a good day, Quirky T-shirt, and enjoy your lark, Speedy Banana. We have Good Boy for Brave Voidling. Good boy, Brave Voidling. Good boy. Good boy. Such a good boy. You're such a good boy, Brave Voidling. Good boy. Good boy. Alright, let's try another one. Hydrate. I will definitely take the hydrate. Commanding envelope, only 38% effort. I am in fact real, Speedy House. Whoops. Oh, excuse me. goodness. Every time I drink water, it's like my stomach just starts making noises. Let's see, let's see. So I do want to go ahead and add spell it out. Well, let's see here. We could do name spelling, which is like a normal trigger, and then spell it out, which is a secret trigger. So this one's going to be weighted at 10. This one's only going to be weighted at 1. And call it cat skiff. It's also a special one, and it's only going to be at 1. Yes, I know. Just make the table bigger. It's fine. There we go. Everything else, I think we keep at 10 for the most part. I'm not sure what you mean by WB mystery trigger. It's not like a huge mystery. Spell it out, I will keep as a mystery until it actually pops up. Cat's GIF, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just I'll pull up a random GIF on screen. Maybe that one we can put at a 5. It doesn't need to be so, because it's like not super hard to do. Spell it out is a bit involved. It's not something I want to have to do very often. Let's see. So we've got these. I guess we could consolidate some of this stuff together, but maybe we'll do that later. So we'll just, let's see, consolidate all random values on backend and then simply reference on front end. That might sound a bit complicated, but basically, like, some of these are, you see how they have the word backend in them like 4 or 5 times. I think just everything on this front page should only have it in there like once or twice, where whatever's gonna be generated here should just be generated here so that it can just be referenced on the front end. It seems a little inefficient. Because, like, see this? It's just like, oh, just grab that. Where this is like a whole mess. This should be on the other page. So we'll do that at some point. The ban list and the chat box history I've not really looked into at all. Maybe I'll look into those a little bit before next time. Keep forgetting highlighting in yellow just doesn't work. Formatting, you know, maybe we'll do that at some point. I've still not messed with it at all. I don't even know, because they don't have word art in Excel like they do with Microsoft Word, so I'm not even sure how nice and fancy you can make the fonts look. I feel like you just pick a font and then make it big, but maybe I can use different fonts for different things and it'll at least look more interesting than this. It's not going to be like a work of art or anything, but whoops. We'll put that off for next time. We added both of these. We're not going to worry about magnets. So I think we're doing pretty good. We've got a bunch of... Oh, and we did this. I wasn't scrolled all the way up. I need to get this list towards the top. There we go. So I think we'll do just a couple more triggers, and then we'll probably end the stream. And as always, Goose, hey, if you have a redeem, you can always just type it in chat. You don't have to wait for it to pop up, but it's up to whatever you want to do. Okay, we just did Rubik's Cube. I don't want to do Rubik's Cube again. ear licking for Quirky House. Greasy Yak is giving 78% effort today. That's really good for the weekend. Let me move this pop filter out of the way. I feel like it's probably a good idea. Okay. I need to figure out how to get that to show up on the mic a little bit more. I feel like the kisses kind of show up pretty well whenever I do them next to the mic, but the ear licks are still a bit quiet. I tried turning up the gain, but maybe there's something I can do better. I need to figure out how most people do them on a not 3DO mic, because I know on the 3DO you can just do it directly, but I don't think most microphones are made for for licking. Let's see here. Finger tracing for red voidling. Have a good lurk, Lazy House. And I'm doing alright. Fantastical Envelope, how are you doing today? I think I'll do one more and then I'll end stream. What are we gonna get? I feel like we did hand rubs at least twice today. I don't want to end on a negative HR meeting. That feels bad. It really wants the negative HR meeting. Ooh, typing. I feel like that's a good one. I swear, I just don't know how to spell redeem. I always want to do 2 Ds. I don't know if it'll be an ASMR gaming stream. I want to play Stardew Valley at some point, and then maybe that one will be more ASMR. Balatro has, I think, pretty cozy music, but I don't think the sound effects are super like conducive to ASMR. They're not like super harsh or super loud. But I don't know. At the very least, I probably won't be kind of like whispering like I am now. I'll probably just be talking. So it'd still be something like you could have on in the background if you're trying to relax. It's not. I'm not gonna. I'm not one of those people that are just like yelling all the time. For the most part. So I don't know. You can feel free to tune in, and if it's not for you, then that's fine. And that is typing for whoever it was. That's one of the kind of sucky things about the randomizer on the Excel sheet is that every time you change anything, it goes. I wish there was just like I wish you could just hit like the refresh, and that's what would force it to go. And then if you didn't hit refresh, anything else wouldn't affect it. But it looks like refresh actually doesn't do anything, which is weird. I would have thought that that would have updated the values, but I guess not. Anyhow, thank you for tuning in. And I think we made a lot of progress on this sheet today. We got a whole bunch of stuff cleaned up and uniformed and everything, so that's good. And most importantly, we can add a bunch of stuff now without, tearing down all the infrastructure and rebuilding it, which is really nice. It's really nice to be able to just add whatever I want, and it'll just update automatically without me going and changing like 10 other different things. So that's a big win. And we have some other stuff to look into. Maybe I'll look into these a little bit off stream and see if I can come up with any way to do it. One thing I'm kind of worried about is like these cells, like the stuff in them is getting like super long. I'm worried there's gonna be like a whole paragraph in there that like I'm just not even gonna remember what any of it means, and I'm gonna get to a point where I have to change something and I have no clue where to go. But I am learning, definitely, because at the start of this, it was like really hard to remember when to use index and count A, because I learned both of them at the same time, and they don't do the same thing at all. But because I was using them at the same time, I was getting them confused with each other, and now I think I have a better deal on it. And I also learned count ifs, which is good for certain things. So hopefully this will get easier and easier, and hopefully I can keep finding things to work on it. Because I feel like we're almost kind of at like the final form. I don't know. I mean, I know we still have stuff to do on the to-do list, but I feel like working on the sheet is like half of the fun of the stream. But maybe once I start to enjoy the triggers more, then it'll be, or not enjoy the triggers more, but like as I do more of them, it'll, I don't know, I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I guess like most of the stream goes by really quickly because I'm actually working on something, and I guess I'm worried that if I'm just doing the triggers, it won't feel like it's going by as quickly. But maybe if you're doing all the triggers back to back, the time still goes pretty quick, so we'll see. Anyhow, now I'm just rambling. So thank you for tuning in. I will see you next weekend for some ASMR for sure, and then maybe a little bit for gaming during the week, but we'll see. All right, bye-bye everyone, bye-bye.